How do you handle conflicts with people who have different communication styles? What are the advantages of finding a compromise? How can body language impact conflict resolution? Hi, and welcome to another Wernicke video. In this video, we're going to talk about conflict resolution, and more specifically, we're going to try to find the answer to 3 questions. First, how do you handle conflicts with people who have different communication styles? I'm going to read a response for you, and we're going to learn a lot of vocabulary in the response. So here it is. Handling conflicts with people who have different communication styles requires a bit of patience and flexibility. It's crucial to try to understand their way of communicating and adjust your approach accordingly. Sometimes clarifying your intentions and being straightforward can help bridge the gap. That was the response that we had prepared. What we're going to do is read it part by part and try to understand it better. It starts with saying handling conflicts with people who have different communication styles requires a bit of patience. Patience means the ability to wait calmly, in a calm way. It's crucial to try to understand their way of communicating and adjust your approach accordingly. What does it mean to adjust your approach? Adjust means to change slightly. If you change your style, if you change your approach a little bit, because of the conditions, because of the other person, then you are adjusting your approach. To adjust is to change slightly. Also, the other word is accordingly. Accordingly means in a way that is appropriate to the particular situation. So you see the situation, you see the other person, you see how they are behaving, and you adjust your approach accordingly. It means you adjust your approach based on that situation in an appropriate way. So that's the word accordingly. I'll continue with the original response. Sometimes clarifying your intentions and being straightforward can help bridge the gap. So we have the word clarifying. Clarifying is to make something clear. You need to clarify your approach, your intentions. Your intentions are your plans and purposes. The plans and purposes that you have, they are your intentions. So it says you need to clarify your intentions. And you need to be straightforward. What is straightforward? It means direct and clear. Direct and clear. Straightforward. Sometimes clarifying your intentions and being straightforward can help bridge the gap. Bridge the gap means to reduce differences, to reduce the problems and differences. So that is the response to this question. Basically, it's saying you need to be patient, you need to change your approach, and you need to make your intentions clear and try to bridge the gap. Now I'm going to read the words that we learned in this text one by one, and we're going to see some example sentences for them. The first one was the word patience. Patience. Patience is the ability to wait calmly. For example, handling conflicts requires patience. Another word was clarifying. To clarify is to make something clear. Clarifying your intentions helps in conflicts. Our next word is straightforward. Straightforward means direct and clear. As an example, I can tell you, be straightforward in your communication. Be straightforward in your communication. Another word that we learned was bridge the gap. Bridge the gap means reduce differences. For example, I can tell you, please find ways to bridge the gap in styles. Find ways to bridge the gap in styles. Another word that we learned was accordingly. Accordingly means in a way that is appropriate to the particular situation. So it means in a good way, considering the situation. As an example, I can say the budget was increased and the project plan was adjusted accordingly. So that's an example of using the word accordingly. And another word we learned was intentions. Intentions are your plans or purposes. Plans or purposes that someone has are their intentions. As an example, I can tell you, she made her intentions clear during the meeting. She made her intentions clear during the meeting. And the last word is adjust. Adjust is to change slightly, to change a little bit. For example, adjust your approach to suit their style. Adjust your approach to suit their style. So that was all of the things that we could learn from answering the first question. The first question was, how do you handle conflicts with people who have different communication styles? Now we're going to proceed to the second question. The question is, what are the advantages of finding a compromise? Again, remember we're talking about the topic of conflict resolution and conflict management. And the question is, what are the advantages of finding a compromise? Maybe it would be best if you paused the video and try to answer this yourselves. But then, when you're done, we can also read my response and take a look at the vocabulary that we can learn there. Anyways, I'm going to read it for you now. Finding a compromise allows both parties to feel heard and valued, which can strengthen relationships. It also prevents one person from feeling like they're lost. Overall, it fosters a cooperative environment and helps maintain harmony in the long run. I'm going to start again and we're going to learn some vocabulary. It starts by saying finding a compromise allows both parties to feel heard and valued. There we have the word compromise. Compromise means middle ground. It means you find a solution that is neither perfect for you nor for me, but it's a little bit good for me, a little bit good for you. So it's a solution that we can both work with. That's middle ground. That's called compromise, or meeting halfway. So meeting halfway or finding a compromise allows both parties to feel heard and valued, which can strengthen relationships. The word strengthen is made up of the noun strength and en, which makes it a verb. So strengthen is to make someone or something stronger or more effective. The same way as you can make the word widen. Wide means something that has huge extent, and then widen is to make it wider. So strengthen, to make something stronger or more effective. The sentence is, if you find compromise, it can strengthen relationships. So it means it can make your relationships stronger. It also prevents one person from feeling they lost. Overall, it fosters a cooperative environment. So we have here the word fosters. It fosters a cooperative environment. The word foster means to promote the growth of something. It means you encourage or promote the growth of something. For example, if I allow everyone to ask their questions, then I have fostered an environment for open and positive communication. So foster is when you create the right environment for the growth of something. So the sentence says, finding compromise fosters a cooperative environment and helps maintain harmony in the long run. Okay, we have the word cooperative also. Cooperative is a situation where people work together. It means working together. And helps maintain harmony. Harmony is peace and agreement. Peace and agreement is harmony. In the long run also means over a long period. In the long run, over a long period. So if we take a look at the original response again, finding a compromise allows both parties to feel heard and valued. It means if you find middle ground, then both parties feel good. And it can strengthen the relationship. It can make the relationship stronger. It also prevents one person from feeling they lost. Because you want to create a win-win situation. You want to create an environment where both parties are happy about what is happening. So that's why you need to find a compromise. Overall, it fosters a cooperative environment and helps maintain harmony in the long run. Overall, as a whole, it creates a good environment and helps maintain harmony in the long run is over the long period of time. Okay, I'm going to read the vocabulary one more time with examples. The first word was compromise. Compromise is middle ground. As an example, I can tell you, finding a compromise benefits both parties. Another word was strengthen. Strengthen is to make something stronger or more effective. Strengthen is to make something more effective. For example, strengthen your argument by using evidence. So if you use evidence, you are strengthening your argument. The next word is foster. Foster is to promote the growth of something, to encourage something, or to create the right environment for something to grow. Compromise fosters cooperation. So if you want to create the right environment for cooperation, what you need to do is to find compromise. The next word is cooperative. Cooperative means working together. As an example, a cooperative environment is essential. Next word is harmony. Harmony is peace and agreement. As an example, compromise helps maintain harmony. And the last phrase, and I think it's a very important and good phrase here, it's the long run. The long run is over a long period. It's beneficial in the long run. Okay, so that was our second question, which talked about the advantages of finding a compromise. Our last question for this video is going to be about body language. The question is, how can body language impact conflict resolution? How can body language impact conflict resolution? So you may, again, want to stop the video here and try to answer this yourself to practice your speaking. But then I'm going to read a response here and we're going to learn from it. The response is this. Body language can make or break a situation during conflict resolution. Open gestures, maintaining eye contact, and nodding can show that you're engaged and willing to listen. On the flip side, crossed arms or avoiding eye contact might give off the wrong vibe and escalate tensions. So this response has lots of good vocabulary that we can learn together and practice. I'm going to read it sentence by sentence, and wherever there is new vocabulary, I'm going to tell you about it. Body language can make or break a situation during conflict resolution. Make or break is an expression. If something makes or breaks something else, it means it determines success or failure. So the meaning of make or break is to determine success or failure. So here we're saying that if you want to see if your conflict resolution will be successful or it will fail, one of the factors is body language. It can cause the success or failure of your efforts. So body language can make or break a situation during conflict resolution. Our next sentence says, open gestures, maintaining eye contact, and nodding can show that you're engaged and willing to listen. We got a couple of words here that we can review. One is nodding. Nod is the movement of your head when you want to show agreement or acknowledgement. The exact meaning is to move the head up and down in agreement or acknowledgement. It means sometimes you move your head up and down to show to people that you agree. That's called nodding. Nod. N-O-D. Nod. Another word there is you are willing to listen. Willing means you are ready and prepared to do something. Willing, ready, and prepared to do something. As an example, be willing to listen to the other person's perspective during conflict resolution. You need to be willing to listen to other person's perspectives. So it means that you are ready or prepared. Okay, we can continue to the next sentence here. It says, on the flip side, crossed arms or avoiding eye contact might give off the wrong vibe and escalate tensions. Lots of interesting words there. One is on the flip side. When you say on the flip side, it means you are showing a contrary point. Because before I was telling you about how body language can help. Now I want to tell you about how body language can cause failure of your efforts. So here I'm talking about the flip side of the coin. Imagine a coin, it has two sides. So we're talking about the flip side. It says on the flip side. So it means on the other hand, basically. Okay, on the flip side, crossed arms. What is crossed arms? Crossed arms is a posture where your arms are folded over your chest. When you close your arms, when you fold your arms around your chest, that's crossed arms. Which in many cultures, it means that you are a little bit defensive or not happy about something, or you resist an idea. It's not necessarily true in all situations. There are cultures where crossed arms are a sign of respect, but in many cultures, crossed arms are not a positive mark. Okay, so it says on the flip side, crossed arms or avoiding eye contact might give off the wrong vibe. We want to practice these two phrases, give off and wrong vibe. So give off means to emit or show, to show basically. And the wrong vibe is a bad impression. Vibe is a feeling or an impression. And the wrong vibe is a bad impression. On the flip side, crossed arms or avoiding eye contact might give off the wrong vibe and escalate tensions. Escalate is to make something worse or to intensify, to make something more intense. The tensions, you know that already. So what we're going to do is just focus on the vocabulary now and see some example sentences. The first word we learned here was make or break. As we learned, make or break means to determine success or failure. For example, body language can make or break a situation. The next expression we learned was nod. Nod means to move the head up and down in agreement or acknowledgement. As an example, he gave a nod to show he understood the terms of the agreement. He gave a nod to show he understood the terms of the agreement. Our next expression is on the flip side. On the flip side is used to introduce a contrasting idea. For example, on the flip side, focusing too much on one issue can lead to neglecting others. So here we are using on the flip side probably after another idea. In the beginning, you said that you need to focus on one issue and it's really helpful and it's great that you have focus. And then you say, well, okay, on the flip side, focusing too much on one issue can lead to neglecting others. So you use it between two different sentences where the ideas are different. It's similar to using the phrases on the one hand and on the other hand. Okay, our next expression is willing. Willing means ready and prepared to do something. Ready and prepared to do something. As an example, be willing to listen to the other person's perspective during conflict resolution. We need to be willing to listen to the other person's perspectives during conflict resolution. Our next expression was crossed arms. Crossed arms is a posture where one's arms are folded over the chest, often indicating defensiveness or resistance. As an example, avoid crossed arms to prevent giving off a defensive vibe during discussions. Next expression is give off. Give off is to show or emit. For example, crossed arms can give off a negative vibe. Wrong vibe is our next expression, which means a bad impression. A bad impression is the wrong vibe. As an example, avoid giving off the wrong vibe during conflicts. The last expression is escalate. Escalate is to intensify. As an example, poor body language can escalate tensions. So what we did here is we reviewed 3 questions, 3 responses, and lots of vocabulary. And I hope that you can use these words in conversation and improve your speaking skills. That's it for this video.